This is a Volkswagen. It wagens Volks. And welcome right on back to Flowers in wintertime. Hope you're doing well. The last time we were together, we were diving headfirst into this investigation, starting to untangle some things, still maybe a little lost in the weeds on a couple of others, but hopefully we're getting close to starting to see things untangle a little bit. We're going to be looking into the incident from a year ago that Yatsushiro mentioned to Suoh. We're finally digging into that. And we're starting with guilt. That's what I feel regarding my amitié partner as she presses gently on my leg. She's so absorbed in her investigating now that she's injuring herself. Ballet is not something you want to be distracted and trying to do. Could very easily break a limb that way. For the sake of Komikado-senpai's honor, my two fellow investigators have taken a step back from the mystery of the 7 third years in the Bloody Mary. But I can't turn my back on the case, not when it might provide a clue to the question of Shion Basquiat. Don't put on a brave face if it hurts. You're just gonna make it worse. Man, I'm just glad it's not a cold. I couldn't deal with another cold arc. My inner turmoil must have shown through outwardly. Yeah, you're real bad at suppressing your emotions and thoughts. She asks me whether I can stand and I get to my feet. Yes, we will catch a cold if we do literally anything. This is Japan after all. Leading cause of death is the common cold. Rika-san takes me by the hand. I feel terrible for keeping secrets from my amitié partner who clearly cares so deeply for me. Uh-oh. The specter of my stepmother is always there to mock me whenever I feel negative emotions. When I lift my gaze, there she is in the mirror, laughing at me. Ooh. Oh. Lowering my eyes again, I let my amitié partner help me into the changing room, that woman's laughter ringing in my ears all the way. All through classes and even during my ballet exam, I was unable to stop thinking about the case. Even when my distraction caused me to trip and fall, I still couldn't get it out of my head. My obvious preoccupation has caused my amitié partner to worry about me. I force a smile to my face to compensate. Rika-san's braids bristle as she wags a finger at me. This is not gonna help investigating very much. I look down. Her kindness makes me feel all mushy on the inside. When I ask her what it was, she takes my hand in hers again and runs her fingers over my skin as softly as she might a baby's. She asks me whether I was washing the vegetables, and with a shudder, I remember the freezing water biting through my fingers. Then she pulls a small blue tin from her pocket.
こっちも放っておくとまずいものね。
Opening the tin, she slightly pats some cream onto her own hands, then clasps mine. Aww. You're doing this on purpose. Again, she had a power move like this at the piano in spring. This is her primary method of attack. I'm on to you. I know what this is about.
ハンドクリームよ。これ私のお気に入りなの。
My amitié partner's fingers glide gently over my skin. Her slender digits slide up my palm and into the openings between my fingers and down, massaging the cream in. While it makes me feel a little awkward, it's also very reassuring and also kind of horny.
せっかく綺麗な手をしているのだから、きちんとお手入れをしなくてはダメよ。私なんて。いちごさんが聞いたら怒りそうだわ。指が短いって言っていたし。
Stubby sausages.
スオーさんは指が長くて繊細で本当に綺麗。
I don't think it comes from playing piano. I think it just kind of facilitates playing piano better. Something that I've kind of experienced a lot in my day of being around musicians and music is people that have long fingers are typically very good at developing the dexterity one needs to play piano and guitar. That's not to say that people with shorter fingers can't, but long fingers does definitely facilitate that kind of dexterity. She intertwines her fingers with mine in a gesture of intimacy. It makes me feel both shy and comforted at the same time. Her hand is soft and warm and filled with the affection of that a mother might have for her own child. Damn. Yeah, okay. I could see that being a sore spot.
ごめんなさい。話したくないことよね。
At first, she complimented my long fingers, but after the onset of her illness... No, you're not! That is the big... You liar, liar, pants on fire! Get out of here! I'm over it! I'm over it! I remind her that I'm able to play the piano again, and Rika-san smiles, dismissing the faint presence of my stepmother. I smile back.
ねえ、スオさん。何を思い悩んでいるの？
Come on. Something's troubling you. I know it. You're not acting right. Her soft question immediately dispels the pleasant mood. Thick silence falls in the air between us like jello. Oh, I'm definitely not keeping anything from you if that's what you're thinking. I don't know why you'd ever have that thought. I managed to force the words out to break the silence, but Rika-san quickly hits back, telling me that she knows I'm lying.
私はスオさんのアミティエなのよ。この学院の誰よりもあなたを見ているの。少し前からエリカさんやリンゴさんとも会っていたでしょ。それはええ、何かわからない。でもスオさんが隠していることで胸を痛めているのだけはわかる。
It's kind of the curse of getting close to people is they're gonna be able to figure that stuff out. Her feelings are conveyed clearly in a way that she grasps my hand. Again, the flame that smolders in my chest is lit, and I have the desire to tell her everything. Yatsushiro-senpai had declared the person I was seeking a snake. I can't drag Rika-san into something that may be dangerous.
お願い。私たちはアミティエでしょ。
You may not think that, but like, best probably, you know, more people versus a snake is probably a good thing.
私はスオさんを。
Oh, she pulled the BFF card. I see pain written into her features, the same pain I myself have experienced, and so I...
リッカさんへ隠していたことがあるの。やっぱりエリカさんやリンゴさんへ手伝ってもらったのは成り行きもあるけれど、下世話だとリッカさんに怒られるのではないかと思ったからなの。
She tilts her head at me dubiously.
八代先輩が
All right, finally, we're gonna you're getting your head screwed on a little straight here. Look, you know, you're going into the lion's den. You might as well come with an RPG party that wants to be there. Clearly, everybody here is willing to help. Just like I did with Erika-san and Ringo-san, I tell her about the Bloody Mary incident, leaving out anything that might connect it to Shion Basquiat. In other words, you thought I might get angry that you were dragged into a past incident for fun, she asks. After I finish explaining everything we know about the Bloody Mary incident, my amitié partner pouts and fiddles with her braids.
まあ、立場上は怒らなくてはいけないかもしれないけれど、私ってそんなに融通が利かないように見える？
I shake my head.
私たちがここに来る前に起こった血まみれメアリー事件、生徒が大量に辞めた原因を作った犯人がコミカド先輩と思われているか。だからエリカさんたちは手を引いたの。この事件を調べることで消えていた噂を、コミカド先輩の名を汚してしまうのではないか。
And like, if it's true, that'd be even more messed up. A strange expression flits across Rika-san's face, a cross between a smile and a glare of suspicion.
だからもうこの件からは手を引くことになって。でもスオさんは
But you still are, right? You're not gonna stop. I know you. I know you. You can't get this past me.
手を引くならあんな心ここにあらずな態度には
Boom.
なら
Dead
ない
to
のよ。
rights.
エリカさんたちは捜査を打ち切っても、スオさんはこの謎を解きたいのよね。
I hesitate, unsure whether or not I should confirm her suspicions. But the next instant, Rika-san flashes me a warm smile.
スオさんが捜査をするなら私も協力するわ。だってコミカド先輩の名前。
Look, if we've got to drag some dirty laundry out into the light to get closer to the truth, I think that it's kind of worth it at this point.
ヤブをつついてヘビを出すってことになったら大変だって考えているんでしょ。でもそれは見当外れな考え方だわ。
She quickly dismisses our foremost worry.
だって考えたらわかることじゃない。コミカド先輩が人を陥れる真似なんてできるはずがないわ。噂が流れていたのならそれは根も葉もない流言よ。
She has a point.
八代先輩が調べていたっていうのもコミカド先輩に悪い噂が流れていたからじゃないかしら。もし噂が断ち切れたものだとしたら
It'll make things even better if we can restore her honor, she says, clapping her hands together.
でしょ。
The way she smiles at me reminds me of when we first met. How many times have I been buoyed by her kindness?
それは私を事件を解く相棒として認めてくれたってことよね。
I mean, she's definitely taken a lot on her shoulders these past three, or at least these past 2 seasons. She's definitely taken a lot on her shoulders and kind of proven herself to be like, you know, Suoh's day one here. She's like definitely got her back in a way that cannot be understated. Also, I'm knocking things off of a shelf. That's cool. Ow. All of this plays really well. It's like just shit you can't see happening, but trust me, it's a comedy of things falling and me trying to place them without them falling again. And I've succeeded. Praise me. She puffs her chest out and I nod.
それじゃ、授業が終わったら早速行動しましょう。まずは聞き込みよ。
I mean, we already kind of did that part. I don't know that we're gonna get. I don't know that things are gonna go much better. But sure, let's repeat the process again. Stroking her braids, she tells me not to worry.
2階屋の会、副会長の実力を見せてあげるわ。
She winked there. She's like, all right, time for me to go to full yandere mode on anybody that doesn't want to answer questions. Don't worry, it's my vice president of the Council of Nikaya powers. Violence. She's not the vice president, she's the violence president. Mika-san told me that she would bring her informant to meet me after class, but
ちょっと遅いわね。
she's late. I'm waiting in Iznik. In the meantime, I'm preparing some tea for the person who will supposedly tell us further details about the Bloody Mary incident. Although we're a self-governing student body, that doesn't mean we're allowed to play with fire unsupervised. I had someone heat up some water for me in the cooking club and brought it over in a thermos.
冷めてしまうか。
Reflecting that it's about the right time, I add 3 heaps of tea leaves to the pot and then pour hot water over to brew them. They're large leaves, so it should take about 3 to 4 minutes for the beverage to brew.
お待たせ。さすがに廊下は冷えるわね。温かい紅茶が。紅茶用意してくれていたのね。お話ししていただくのだし、あと私が焼いたクッキーなのだけど。
Always got tea and cookies on hand. Man, this is just like the dream. My waistline would not survive going to this school.
スオーさんが入れてくれた紅茶にお手製のクッキー。
Clasping her hands together, she strikes a pose like she's giving praise to God himself. Behind her, a girl hovers in the corridor as though unsure whether or not she should enter the room. I hurriedly invite her in.
ス
Yeah!
オーさんも知っているわよね。2年生の
More
岡間
cute
瑞希さん。
girls.
合唱部でピアノを担当なさっている方よ。
This is Miki Hokama. More cute girls. Why are all like they needed to do sprites for these extra cute girls because they're so cute. It's the final game. You go all out. Come on, innocent gray. Get your shit together. Of course I know Hokama-san. She did a lot for me in the spring at the Feast of the Assumption. Hokama-senpai is even smaller than the Sasaki twins, and her tiny frame is almost entirely hidden as she cowers behind Rika-san.
岡間先輩は無口で人見知りなの。だ、そう。
When she helped me with the piano in spring, she didn't strike me as having any particular problems communicating.
岡間先輩はピアノに触れている間は平気なの。
It strikes me that she's the opposite of me, although I was supposed to have overcome those issues. Oh, jeez. Hearing my stepmother's vicious voice in my ear, I shake my head slightly.
スオーさん？いえ、なんでもないわ。
Don't mind me, just hearing voices in my head, it's fine.
お話を聞かせていただけるかしら。
Don't be scared by that cute girl. All right, what do we got? The information Hokama-senpai tells us contains several hints.
ありがとうございます。岡間先輩。
She gives a little nod, clasping her mug in both hands and blowing the hot tea before drinking deeply. She must be thirsty after talking so much.
美味しいですか？こっちのクッキーもどうぞ。どっちもスオーさんが作ってくれたんですよ。
For a brief second, her gaze flicks to mine and she looks down, her cheeks flushed. Then she leans over to whisper into Rika-san's ear as she was doing before.
とても美味しいって
Oh,
ありがとうっておっしゃっているわ。
she's so shy and cute. I love it. I'm glad to hear that she likes them, but
リカさんを介してしかお話ししてくれないなんて。
it seems she's so painfully shy she's unable to speak with anyone unless it's while playing the piano or through someone she truly trusts. Among the second-year students, she was Yatsushiro Senpai and Komikado. Among the second-year students, that was Yatsushiro Senpai and Komikado Senpai. But now that they've both left the this poor girl was left all alone and just not able to communicate. That's horrible.
リカさんって本当にすごいわ。いえ、私には無理だなってこと。
Rika-san is the only friend she has left who she can communicate with without a piano between them. Apparently, it took a lot of effort on Rika-san's part to get the painfully shy girl to speak with her.
諏訪吹さんのことといい、本当だったらリカさんが会長になるべきだわ。
I don't know about that. I feel this keenly.
はいはい。それでスオさん、聞きたいことはこれだけでしょうかって他間先輩がおっしゃっているのだけれど。すみません。
I go over everything I've learned from her. The general gist was the same, however, I have gleaned several new pieces of information. Until now, it was unclear whether the rumors about Komikado Senpai arose before or after the students dropped out. Thanks to Hokama Senpai, we now have confirmation that it was after. Next, I've learned that the rumors appeared abruptly and spread quickly. Additionally, the rumors started around the same time that Komikado Senpai was standing for election in the Council of Nikaya. This in turn led to rumors that they were being spread by an opponent. Before now, I didn't think to consider the timing. Yeah, that certainly does. That certainly puts some things into perspective. I just knocked something else over. I am a disaster today. If I get through this episode alive, it's going to be a miracle. The incident occurred in the lead up to the council elections, which means that it was the end of last year. No, we're into the new year now, so that makes it the year before last.
ごめんなさい。あとはコミカド先輩にかかった疑いというのはどういった経緯で解けたのですか？
Hokama Senpai nods and cups her small hand to Rika-san's ear and starts to whisper secretively. However, their story is longer and more complicated than I was expecting, and even after multiple back and forths, I still don't really know what she's trying to say.
直接お話しすることは。
Oh, yeah! Cute little one. Yeah! She's adorable.
岡間先輩、スオさんはとっても優しくていい人ですから。
Talk to me, cute girl, please.
花火さんと同じ。
Yeah, there you go.
初めて声を。
She does, doesn't she?
可愛い声。合唱部なのだものね。
After staring intently into my face for a moment, Hokama Senpai gives a hesitant nod.
分かった。頑張る。
You can do it! I believe in you! The power of cute will carry you through. Smiling, Rika-san pours her a fresh cup of tea.
少し複雑な。
We live for convoluted. It's fine. Let me tell you about this Erica story from when we first met. Let me tell you about the books thing. Yeah, trust me, you don't know convoluted.
はい、もちろんです。まずコミカドさんが当時の3年生へ無理やり血まみれメアリーの儀式をやらせたということだけれど、実は誤解だって
後になって分かったの。
どういうことですか？
そもそも無理やり儀式を強要させるのは無理があるんじゃないかって。あの時はまだコミカドさんも2回や
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, she wouldn't have had the stroke to be going around like trying to make people do things unless they were underclassmen, but that's very much not the case. So, yeah, that makes sense.
そんな権限もない。同じ部でもないから儀式に向かわせるように仕向けるのも難しいだろうって。
What she's saying makes sense. A nasty rumor is, after all, just that, a rumor. Anyone who thought about it would quickly conclude that it didn't gel at all with Komikado Senpai's personality, not to mention the fact that she just, again, does not have the stroke to be able to pull something off like that.
それで噂は完全に断ち消えたのですか？
噂話も下火になった頃、また新しく
What?
コミカドさんが弱みを握っていた3年生を辞めさせたという噂が広がったの。
Okay, so we've got another rumor.
そんな、一体どうして？
辞めていった3年生の部屋にコミカドさんが書いたという脅迫文が見つかったって話が出回ったの。
Someone found a blackmail letter in one of the students' rooms written by Komikado.
そんなことは聞き込みでは誰も。
Yeah, that's new. Then again, it was information that would only further besmirch Komikado Senpai's reputation. Of course, they would be reluctant to bring it up unprompted.
それでその状況はどう収まったのですか？
確かに出されていた脅迫文はコミカドさんの筆跡だったのだけど、八代さんが小文字の A の書き方が違うとカンパしたの。
Huh. Okay. I don't know that that proves much of anything.
それだけでは収まらなかった。
She nods, then grimaces.
どうぞ。
あの時のことを思い出して。
What you remember in Sweet Pea?
あの時の。
After closing her eyes for a moment to dig back through her memories, she starts to speak.
八代さんはコミカドさんの疑いを晴らすと言って噂に飛びついていた人や各部の部長や主だった人を連れて生物へ向かったの。
She took those of us who believed the rumors along with the heads of the club to the relic.
その言い方ですと他の先輩も？
ええ、怖いことが苦手だから本当は嫌だったのだけど、どうしてもって。
私も怖いものが苦手だからお気持ちわかります。
Kindred spirits here. Hokama-san offers her a faint smile. She really seems to be able to let her barriers down around her.
寄宿舎を抜け出して夜中の2時に生物の絵画の前に立ち、みんなで儀式を執り行ったわ。そして
Her small hand clutches at Rika-san's sleeve. She must have seen something like we did. Something supernatural.
絵画の中のマリア様の表情が変わって。
Uh-huh.
大丈夫ですよ。そんなに細かいところまで思い出さなくていいんです。
She gently takes hold of her hand, reassuring her again that she's okay. I can't bring myself to force her to add more details, so I continue on her behalf.
八代先輩はその怪異を見せた上でふざけ半分の3年生はこの恐ろしい現象を見てしまった。だからやめる判断をしてしまっても仕方がないと告げたわけですね。
Huh. She nods, her mouth set in a grim line. Rika-san keeps a firm hold on her hand.
その後で用意してあった辞めた3年生からの手紙をみんなに見せて、コミカドさんに強制されたわけでないと証明したの。
Okay.
最初に手紙を見せても
Yeah, some people will still have had doubts for sure, which is why she had to show them. Okay.
だから怪異を見せることで説得力を持たせたのね。ありがとうございました、ほかま先輩。怖い体験を話させてしまって。はい、はい、いいえ、そんなこと。
After watching their congenial exchange for a moment, I offer my own thanks too.
本当にありがとうございました。それではこれで。
Cutting my amitié partner off, I reveal that I have one more favor to ask.
写真よ、八代先輩の。
Yes! We need this! Let's have a look! Hokama-senpai nods and hands the photo directly to me. Okay, which one is this? Which one is it? Okie doke. It looks to be a photo from their event at the Feast of the Assumption at a pop-up cafe run by either the choir club or the current first-year students.
わあ、この給仕をしているのってほかま先輩ですよね。
Looks adorable! Oh my god! She's criminally cute! Flushing, Hokama-senpai points to another student in the photograph.
この方が八代先輩のアミティだった
Shiori
さ
Akitsu.
んなのですか？
Hello, Shiori Akitsu. So your ribbon is not right. Also, you have Rika's hairband thingy. But they're obviously a different color.
ええ、彼女が秋津さん。
Looking over the girl with the bow of her apron askew,
この人が1年生でただ一人辞めて。
she's the only student among the first years who dropped out that year. Okay. Yatsushiro-senpai's amitié partner left the academy hot on the heels of the third-year students.
はい、はい、ええ、どうしたの？秋津さんは八代先輩のことが好きで同じ部に入部したのだって。
I empathize with wanting to be in the same club as a friend. I ask whether everyone else was aware of her reasons.
なんと言えばいいのかしら。
An open secret.
当然の秘密みたいな。
An open secret.
そうだった。
I imagine Yatsushiro-senpai's room after her amitié partner was gone. In the frosty chill of early winter, it would seem so much bigger than before. How had Yatsushiro-senpai felt left alone in that room? As I stare at the photo, Hokama-senpai flicks a glance toward me, then, as though she's remembered something, she turns to whisper to Rika-san.
そうなのですか。スオーさんが似ていますね。
They're having girly talk here. they're doing private girly talk.
リッカさん、この時たまたま訪れていたカラスモリ教諭が秋津先輩にエプロンを結んであげていたのを思い出したそうよ。
Ms. Karasumori. Ms. Karasumori stopped by to retie Akitsu's apron for her. Miss Karasumori. I don't recognize that name. Is she no longer working at the academy?
そうなの。
My gaze drops to the photo again. Something feels off.
お話ありがとうございました。この写真ですが、少しの間お預かりしてもよろしいです
Yeah,
か？
like, oh, we need to go ask somebody, hey, who's Kurasumori?
ええ、
Cheeks flushed, she nods from behind Rika-san's back. I thank her again.
はい。どういたしましてですって。お話は終わったし、お茶会にしましょうか。
She tells us she has some special tea she's been saving for just such an occasion, and I teasingly tell her that I'd prefer coffee. Also, this girl literally has a special tea for any freaking occasion you could think of. Did you stub your toe on the way back to your dorm room? Hey, don't worry, Rika's got a tea for that. We're back in our room after returning from Iznik. And we're still drinking tea. We're just knocking this shit back, man. Thanking my amitié partner, I accept a cup from her, and she smiles and tells me that I'm welcome. Well, we've got a name that we need to start looking into, I think. Playing with the braids, she nods to herself. However, it's hard to imagine her simply standing by while people spoke ill of Komikado Senpai. I mean, that's a very Yatsushiro thing to do. Like, I know what you did. That's exactly what I think. And while I have no proof of this, I also believe that the culprit could be connected to Shion Basquiat. I tip my cup back and drink. The strong, astringent taste of tea is flavored with a hint of irony. You ever put some irony in your tea? It's good for you. Gives it a bit of a metallic taste. Rika-san stands up and goes over to her desk where she rummages through a drawer. Then she returns with an almanac in hand. Kusabe-senpai. There's another person we don't know. Where did you learn to do that? I learned it from you! She sticks her tongue out at me. Of course, I'm not really criticizing her. After all, I've been doing the same thing. I take the almanac from her and glance over the page. I spoke with her several times when I was putting myself forward as a candidate for president. While it's only my own personal impression of her, she doesn't seem like the type of person who would be so desperate to be on the council that she would resort to underhanded tactics. I'm relieved that Rika-san has the same impression. My lack of socialization means that I don't have much confidence in my ability to get a read on people. Perhaps taking my silence as a sign that I've arrived at a dead end, Rika-san focuses on drinking tea for a moment before speaking up again, her brow furrowed. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get much information out of that. But we do have a name that we can ask about. Oh, Sister Dahlia, that's gonna work out real well. That's gonna go so swimmingly. I must have pulled a face at the mention of her name as Rika-san sets her cup down, recognizing that it's not an option.
だったら勤続年数が長くて生徒と仲がいい先生。
She muses, then clasps her hands together.
石塚先生にお話を聞いてみましょう。
Yes, let's ask Miss Ishizuka. She fits the bill, of course, she suggests excitedly. To be completely honest, I had no idea who Miss Ishizuka was when Rika-san first brought up her name. That's because, while she had been at the academy for a long time, my impression of her didn't exactly gel with Rika-san's description of someone well-liked by the student body. As I listened to Rika-san talk to Miss Ishizuka, it finally hit me that she was the supervisor for the art club. Okay, that makes sense. She was also the teacher that I had been at odds with when I tried to get into the art room to see Mayori's paintings. However, when I went along with Rika-san to speak with her about the following day, I was greeted with a very different attitude. I realize now that while she's a stickler for the rules, she does genuinely care about her students. We are multitudes. We are multitudes, Suoh. Do remember. After exchanging pleasantries and small talk, the conversation progressed even further than I'd hoped for.
日が暮れかけてきていたのね。結構長居しちゃったみたいね。
So what'd we get? Our success was all thanks to my amitié partner and the good relationship she's cultivated with Miss Ishizuka.
ありがとうリカさん。
ああ、いいのよ。石塚教諭は紅茶好きで話が合うの。だからちょくちょくお話ししているし。そうだったの。それよりも有益な情報があるかもって紹介したのに。
Okay, nothing really all that relevant. Okay. But did we at least ask about the teacher? I tell her that's not the case. She plainly thinks I'm just saying it to be nice, but the truth is I did glean some useful information.
事件の概要は他の先輩の方が詳しかったけれど、新しい情報を得ることができたわ。
え？そんなお話？
新しく学園を去った人。
Someone else who left the school. It's the teacher, isn't it? Yep.
それって一
She
身上の
left
都合で辞めたって
due to personal
標本学の
reasons.
先生のこと？
Miss Midori Karasumori. That is a name. That is a name that like really rolls off the tongue really well. Midori Karasumori. A teacher with the unusual name who taught specimen preparation left the academy at around the same time as the students.
その写真。
Wait. Did we get... We got a photograph! Let's go! Just like, hey! Ass! Check out some... Wait! Oh... Oh! I hope I have my mouse cursor. I hope I'm capturing my mouse cursor, or else me sitting here going, oh, makes no damn sense. But if we look at this picture, there are two things that jump out. Oh, oh. Oh, this goes deep, don't it? Oh. I'm gonna point once more, and then we'll move past it. But this and this, these are not a coincidence. There's something going on here. She peers down at the photo we borrowed from Miss Ishizuka. It shows Miss Karasumori working in the specimen room. The camera is zoomed in on her. The camera is getting a nice big look at that big old dumpy. She's wearing an apron and working on a wet specimen. Her expression's serious as she focuses intently on her work.
石塚先生の数年後に赴任してこられたらしくて、初めての後輩だから随分と仲が良かったそうよ。
This reminds me of my grandfather's stories about a junior he took under his wing back when he was working as a doctor.
こんな写真を撮る仲なんですもの。仲がいいに決まっている
I mean, yeah. You know, you want to take a nice ass pic? Gotta be good friends if somebody's gonna let you get a nice big old dumpy pic.
烏森教諭は去年まで標本学をずっと教えていた。
ええ、資格を持った優秀な先生だったって。今はダリア先生が臨時教諭として教えてくれているけれど。
Gazing at the photograph, I came to understand the meaning behind those words that had stood out to me.
学園にとって損失だったという言葉は
Being a loss to the academy, you literally lost a teacher, and it sounds like it might be a pretty big deal about what went down. If the context clues that my brain is putting together mean anything. I dropped my gaze back down to the photo. I just can't stop looking at her juicy ass! Pulling out the other photo, I compare the two. Yep, it is just as I thought. Bam, 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 bam. Seeing the overlap sets something off inside me. An alarm bell alerting me to the fact that I'm missing something important. I'm not missing it. I noticed that shit right off the bat. As soon as we saw juicy ass pic, I was there. I saw it. I mean, I saw the juicy ass too, but I saw the other clues.
もうお礼は言われたわよ。
Thank you for this amazing dumpy photograph.
私だけでは到達できなかった。お礼が言いたいの。
The pieces of the puzzle I've collected so far are beginning to combine and slot together. Let's put it together. Let's logic our way through it, baby. Let's do it. I murmur to myself as I gaze at the snowflakes fluttering in the sky outside the window, as though somewhere out there I might find Yatsushiro-senpai, who once solved this mystery herself. The snow has stopped falling, but a chill wind remains, gusting through the bare branches of the trees and shaking flurries of flakes with them. As I watch the tiny specks of powder fluttering in the wind internally, I sort through the pieces of the puzzle. I examine all pieces I've gathered, thanks to Rika-san. I think I have pretty much all the information I need to make a deduction. Usually at this point, I just need to propose and refine my hypothesis, but
何かが足りない気がする。
it doesn't feel complete. Right now, it's like I have all the pieces of the pot, but nothing to stew in it.
八代先輩なら仏作ってて。
Plowing the field and forgetting to seed. A sucker for period dramas, she would sometimes come out with old-fashioned turns of phrase. Thinking of the older girl reminds me of my grandfather. Perhaps because they both used dated vocabulary. No, it's because both of them gave the impression that they were playing the part of themselves. Feeling a hand on my shoulder, I look up blearily into my amitié partner's face.
白羽会長。
Oh no, we did it again! Did we space out in the middle of another meeting? Her touch draws me out of my thoughts and back to the present. Whoops.
大丈夫？
Unlike before, Rika-san's expression is clouded because she now knows exactly what I'm wrestling with.
話を続けても構いません。
Yes, you may! I was paying attention the whole time, don't worry. Suobuki-san asks... My God! Words! Suobuki-san asks me in a hard tone, probably annoyed at me having interrupted her supplementary budget proposal as I nod.
ごめんなさい。続けてください。
She sends me a pointed look, then carries on reading out the literature club's budget details in the same steely voice. After the meeting,
スオさん、
I shoot off, planning to head to the library so I can do some thinking about my deduction. Then a voice stops me in my tracks. Rika-san hurries over to me and addresses me in a low voice.
会議の時、何か思い悩んでいるように見えたけど。ごめんなさい。責めているわけではないの。今からまた捜査をするなら。大丈夫。もう十分情報は集めたわ。考えをまとめようと思っていたところなの。それじゃ私も少ししたら寮へ戻るわ。だから心配し。
A gust of strong wind rattles the window and I turn my gaze outside. I'm captivated by the way the scattered snowfall is swept up in flurries, only to float back down again. Hearing the sound of the door of Iznik opening, I turn around. Hey, yeah, you're probably mad at me. Her tone stiff, Tsuabuki-san gives me a piercing look, or rather an outright glare. Yeah, you ain't wrong. She mad. She likes her so much.
思い詰めすぎた顔つきだと千鳥の好きな怪談ものになるぞ。エリカさん。
How's it going, Erika? Am I thinking, buddy? She's heading my way together with Ringo-san, who is becoming a common fixture at the handles of her wheelchair. I don't think you're using her. I just think maybe you could, like, I don't know. There's definitely maybe, like, Rika is really throwing herself behind supporting Suoh, and I think from the outside, Tsuabuki kind of sees that as just like, you know, I don't think you're paying that back very well. And also, I'm super into Rika, so you better not hurt her. And also, you better not date her. I am, but it's not what I'm thinking about. Oh. Oh. Who said it? Who said it? I'll literally run him over. Erika-san quickly drops her voice and I raise my head to look at her. Yeah, she's gonna go run somebody down. Tsuabuki, it was nice knowing you. You're very cute, but I don't know that you're surviving this encounter. Seeing the anger in her face, I hurriedly tell her that she's got the wrong end of the stick.
そうですよ、スオちゃん。抱え込まないで、私たちに話してほしいですよ。
そうじゃないの。二階屋の会の会議で失敗をしてしまって、リッカさんに迷惑をかけて。二階屋の会のやつらか。会議が終わった後にリッカさんが心配してくれて。
Oh, you done dropped their name. It's over. It's over, dude. For some reason, the two of them send one another an inscrutable look. That's the kill sign. It's like, yep, we're doing it tonight, 7 o'clock. Yep.
なるほど。ツワブキさんからあまりりっちゃんさんを無下に扱うなと言われたわけですね。
すごいわ。その通りよ。ああ、意地悪ではあるが、こいつは。
Suoh was just like, what do you mean? They've both adopted a rather conspirational looks. What on earth are they thinking?
悪いお顔になっているけれど、ツワブキさんに何もしちゃダメよ。初めて話を聞いたときは勘違いしてるんじゃねえぞと一言釘を刺してやる気だったけどな。
ツワブキさんの気持ちを考えたらい
And Suoh is still just like, huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get it. Erika-san lets out a long sigh, then beckons me closer. When I stoop down, she flicks me right on the forehead. Ow.
こういう話が疎い私でもわかることだぞ。露骨だろうが。
ですね、つわぶきさんはりっちゃんさんが好きなんですよ。
I turn to Ringo-san, whose face is beet red, and I tell her that I know.
アミティ同士で気まずくなっているつわぶきさんを気遣ってニカヤの会に誘ったのは
I don't know that you are grasping the true breadth of the word like that we're using here, my dear.
あのな、お前が言っているのはライクの方だろ。私たちが言っているのはラブの方なんだよ。
Not like! Love, you gigantic nincompoop! Hearing this, the realization hits me. Still, though, I need a moment before it turns into true comprehension. This is so good, dude! Wait a minute! What? Hold on! You're telling me that Suobuki-san loves Rika-san? Is that what you're getting at? Forgetting that we're in the library, I accidentally let out a loud cry. You are surprisingly surprised by this. What? Huh? What? She is so genuinely taken aback by this.
あのな、お前を除くクラスの大半は周知の事実ってやつだぞ。
So literally everybody else knows. Erika-san is looking at me as though I've just asked her if she knows the rules of baseball. Still, their revelation has got me thinking.
確かに今までの振る舞いや言動を考えてみたら。だろ。そうだったの。
Gee, it all makes sense now. Putting myself in Suobuki-san's shoes, I now understand exactly why she's angry. She thinks I've been using Rika-san, and it makes sense that she would see it like that.
まあ、なんだ。一言言えるのは、お前が悪いわけじゃない。誰も悪いわけじゃないんだよ。
間が悪かったのはあるかもしれないですけれどね。
Erika-san slaps Ringo-san lightly on the butt, telling her that sarcasm is her thing. At the same time, I feel as though a heavy yet inexplicable weight has settled over my shoulders. The wind has ceased, and the light of the setting sun paints the trees and the snow crimson. However, a shadow lurks in the glass of the window. Thoughts of what I learned back in the library keep racing through my mind. Yeah? Rika-san has a heart of gold. People who have been hurt before find a balm in their kind and caring personality. I understand why Suobuki-san would fall for her. In fact, there are probably plenty of students who idolize her, and it's not unusual for such feelings to blossom into something more. I can't continue that sentence. I feel like if I speak the words out loud, something precious will spill out of me with them. My heart heavy and anguished, I stare into the window. The shadow deepens, forming into a distinct silhouette. Of course, here it comes. The nausea. That's mean. I know that my stepmother will appear to me whenever I'm feeling empty and weak. You don't exist. Yeah, it's messed up. The illusion agrees with me, and I have no comeback. My stepmother cackles hideously. She taunts me.
多幸感から思い違いをしていただけ。私を塗りつぶせたとでも思ったのかしら。一時的にあの子が私をさらっていただけなのに。
あなたがマユリを語らないで。
また裏切られる。怖がっているのね。
Hearing my own fears repeated in my ears, I can't deny them. I simply glare at her figure in the glass.
そんな目をしても無駄よ。お前が不安を隠しきれなくなっているからこそ、私がこうしているのだもの。そんなに取られるのが惜しいのなら、今のアミティを選べばいい。
Ha! Interesting. I mean, you obviously know this isn't really her stepmother speaking. This is like self-doubt. This is like self-doubt and like it's like take the easy way out. You've already got, like, you can already have what you want. It's right there.
何を。
マユリという女はお前を選ばなかった。いいえ、選んだけれど、お前よりも大切なものができたのよ。
It's interesting, like the turn of phrase here in that she chose and then found something more important. Because her telling, like if that indeed was Mayuri through the wall, her telling her to forget, you know, to forget her, like maybe there's like truth to that?
美術室ではっきりと聞いたでしょ。お前は捨てられた。
I hope that my yell will banish the vision. That if it's something my fragile mind has conjured up, I can simply drown it out with anger, but nothing has changed. You'll always be alone. Even when I cover my ears, I can hear her hideous voice. My stepmother laughs, just like she always did when I hit the wrong keys.
あの老いぼれに預けられる前を思い出す。愉快だわ。とても気分がいいから、一つお前に教えてあげる。人が罪を犯す理由。
Love, money, or to cover up a motive.
動機を隠そうとするためかのどれかよ。
People commit crimes for one of three reasons: love, money, to cover up a motive. I wonder if that's like a... I mean, if we think about the current case that we're dealing with, I think there's obviously an assumption we can make here about it being a crime of love. Looking at the players involved and looking at the context clues that we've seen, looking at the physical evidence we've seen. People saying it's an open secret. It's the first time she's said anything for any purpose other than to jeer at me. I stare at the glass in disbelief. The nausea surging up in me is raw and tangible, just like back then, but... Which means that question is... Screwing my eyes shut, I suppress the nauseous feeling. In the darkness, I feel the presence of my stepmother beside me. I let out a long breath, then take in a deep lungful of crisp, pure winter air. My stepmother has vanished from the window. Because of the things that have been plaguing me, because one of the things that is plaguing me has also disappeared. People commit crimes for three reasons: love, money, or to cover up a motive. My stepmother, or rather the words that I'd stowed away deep inside myself, they've given me the missing piece of the puzzle, the solution to the case that Yatsushiro-senpai once solved. Faintly, I hear a mocking voice. Are you going to keep it to yourself like you always do? but this time it serves as encouragement. I'll be rousing old ghosts, but right now, my stepmother's ridicule has become my impetus. Wiping my sweaty brow, I set off to get my final statement. All right, let's go. I'm stood in the dark, quiet textiles room. The emotions swirling within me make my chest feel tight. When surrounded by silence, my thoughts default to my stepmother. She was shockingly reticent. I don't recall ever hearing her talk much in daily life. The only time she became free with her words was when she was teaching piano, sneering at me, or talking with my father. Just as thinking of Yatsushiro-senpai reminds me of my grandfather, so too does thinking of my stepmother make me recall my father. The exact opposite of her, he loved to talk, to the point that it seemed to be ill at ease with silence. When he came home from work, he would regale my stepmother with anecdotes from that day, tidbits from conversations with friends, and chatter about his hobbies. My stepmother always seemed happy to listen. However, one day, the day I found myself unable to even touch the keys and made a complete fool of myself at a piano contest, I came clean to my father for the first time about my relationship with her. I told him everything. And then he just left. He's just like, no, we're done. Like, we are done here. Within a month of my confession, they were getting a divorce, and I was being sent to live with my grandfather. Those who knew my father well said that he chose to separate from her in order to keep me safe. His friends must have seen him as a devoted father, protecting his child from a wicked stepmother, but because he loved you more. Because you were there first. You are his flesh and blood. You are his world. That question had latched itself into my brain and has remained there ever since. He divorced her because he loved me. But does that mean he hadn't loved her? No, I think it's just the matter of the fact is treating children awful is shitty, and you are absolutely right to divorce someone if they are treating a child shitty. It doesn't really have anything to do with like loving somebody more or not, or having never loved them in the first place. It's got nothing to do with that. It's way more complicated. There's layers to this. Was it that easy for him to make the trade, to cut one of us off to keep the other? Perhaps because of what happened with Rika-san, I was thinking of her and Mayuri. Shaking my head, I decide to go over the Bloody Mary incident in my head as I wait for her to arrive. All right, let's go. The final piece of the puzzle. All right, so first of all, because this is usually where bad endings branch, well, bam. My stepmother gave me the final piece of the puzzle. People commit crimes for one of three reasons: love, money, or to cover up a motive. The first order of business, the motive behind the incident. I had to discern a clear, simple motive, something like she eliminated her sisters to claim the inheritance. Why was Narine Komikado framed for the Bloody Mary incident, and why her specifically? What was the motive for framing Narine Komikado? It was an emotional entanglement. And what led me to this reason? I have to clear my head now before I lay it all out to her. What evidence led me to the motive? That would be the photos from Miss Ishizuka and Hokama-senpai. A photo. I compared the two photos I borrowed. All right. The two things that I noticed they both have in common. Oh, we get the Phoenix Wright this shit. All right. So it's this. There's one more thing. And it's this. Both women have beautiful black hair. While Akitsu-san here is a little unruly, it's still something that you could say they have in common. Am I done? No. Start over. Hold on. Let's do this over again from the beginning. It's her ass. Wait, can we click? Miss Karasumori's slender, creamy legs. Nice. Love me some creamy legs. Are quite captivating. In contrast, Akitsu-san is wearing black stockings. I don't see any relation. Okay. What about her big ass? I don't think her big ass can... Okay. Both women have beautiful black hair. Okay, we did that. I don't think there's really... Okay, so it's this bow. And... Wait. Start over. Am I missing something here? Alright. So it's this guy. And this guy. Yes, this is the other point. Am I done? Yes. Okay. This should do it. I'm satisfied with the hypothesis I've put together in my head. There are no flaws in my reasoning. Still, the incident in question happened a year ago. There is no solid evidence I can show for it. So now I have to... You'll never change. You'll just continue to repeat the same pattern over and over again. Hearing my stepmother's voice, I brush my hands over my ears as though the action will dispel the accompanying nausea. Oh! Which is why at first I didn't realize that someone was calling my name. When she repeats it, I slowly turn to face the woman I asked to meet me. She stands in the dimness of the textiles room. Sister Basquiat. Hey, how you doing? But you don't think it's weird me calling you out here in the middle of the night since I already bugged you about something very personal earlier? She smiles affably at me. I know that what I'm about to bring up is something she won't want to talk about, but I have to do this. I mean, she is the adult here. She can just choose to turn around and walk out at any moment, like she did with when we brought up her father. I cut straight to the chase. Since I have no definitive proof, my only option is to push her into talking. Sister Basquiat looks taken aback. Her voice is a whisper. From her firm denial, in a tone very different than usual, I sense that she's hiding something. I have to laugh at myself. I sound like a true detective. Sister Basquiat looks like she's about to say something, but thinks better of it, so I continue. Just like overload her with so much information that like any action that she chooses to take that is evasive just gives away the game, and you know you're right. So even if she walks out at this point, it's basically a flat confirmation of everything. Even she has to know that at this point. Sister Basquiat didn't ask me by whom. She already knows.
二階屋の会に立候補したせいで対立候補から流されたものではという話も耳にしましたが。
I tell her that's not possible. I explain that Kusabe-senpai, who was running against her at the time, and that from what I know of her personality and how she became the secretary afterwards, it's clear that she harbored no ill feelings toward Komikado-senpai.
ではコミカド先輩を陥れたのは
Karasumori! Let's go!
烏森緑教諭です。
And now she's reached the point. She is cornered. She literally, like, any action she takes here to try and evade this, we know we're right. So if she just bolts right now, we know. Sister Dahlia falls silent when I voice the name of the culprit, but it's an eloquent silence that speaks volumes. In that silence, I can practically hear the cogs turning in her head at top speed as she puts things together, trying to figure out how she can smooth this matter over. Breaking the silence, I ask her whether she's aware that there was another student who dropped out, in addition to the third years.
当時の1年生で八代先輩のアミティだった秋津しおりさんも噂が出た少し後に学院を去っています。彼女は八代先輩と仲が良かった。
Or rather, she was in love with her, I say. And her getting close to Nerine makes that all slot together. Again, crimes. Crimes. The motive of a crime is usually...
烏森教諭は秋津さんと八代先輩が結ばれることを望んでいました。だから
Sister Basquiat's brows knit together. She asks me why she would do such a thing. This is a secret of the academies that she wants to remain hidden.
それは烏森教諭と秋津しおりさんには密接なつながりがあったからです。彼女の声を応援するほどの。
With that, I take out the photos. I hand her one of them, telling her that I borrowed it from Hokama-senpai.
写真
I watch Sister Basquiat carefully as she takes the photo from me. Then I pass her the one I borrowed from Miss Ishizuka.
バスキア教諭、何か気づいた点はありますか？
これは聖母祭での一枚とこちらは標本作業をしている時の。
この2枚の写真には共通点があります。よく見てください。
She compares the two photos, then, after a moment, murmurs, "The bow." Bingo!
どちらもエプロンの結び目が縦になっています。初めは偶然だと思いました。標本作業で液芯作業などを行う際、伸びたリボンの
I mean, sure, that's...
わざと
I guess I totally arrived at that conclusion myself.
どうやらこれは烏森教諭の癖のようです。
Next, I point to the image of Shiori Akitsu and the photo I got from Hokama-senpai.
秋津さんも同じように縦にエプロンを結んでいます。霊法の授業のあるこの学院ではおかしな符号です。だから私は岡間先輩へ尋ねてみました。するとたまたま訪れていた烏森教諭が海外しく秋津さんのエプロンを結んでいたことを思い出し、私バスキア教諭、烏森緑教諭と秋津しおりさんは
Yeah, that definitely makes sense as like to why she would want to like help her, like, you know, get in the good graces of her crush. Yeah, that all tracks. The photos alerted me to something, though I couldn't quite put my finger on what. And then there were the words of my stepmother. People commit crimes for one of three reasons: love, money, or to cover up a motive. I focused on the motive part. I wondered if there was a person standing at the center of all the information I'd gathered, if there was someone trying to hide a motive. At last, Sister Basquiat speaks, her expression pained. They were cousins. Got it.
二人はいとこ同士だったそうよ。
After her long silence, she continues my hunch. She confirms my hunch.
いとこに対しての善意から、秋津さんが恋焦がれている八代先輩との恋を実らせるため。
Yeah, it's a great way to go about scoring a girlfriend is to spread a bunch of awful rumors about the girl she's into. But Yatsushiro Senpai dispelled the rumors herself. After all, it was rooted in next to nothing.
それはコミカド先輩の性格やもともと3年生との関係が希薄なことからです。脅す理由がない。しかし辞めた3年生の部屋からほどなくして脅迫文が見つかった。
まさかそれも。
辞めた生徒の部屋は当然施錠し管理される。鍵を持ち出せるのは
There you go.
共有でないと。
Of course, this wasn't accounting for any students who might happen to somehow have acquired lockpicking skills. I think Riley of Erika-san.
この脅迫文はコミカド先輩の筆跡を真似てはいましたが、文字の書き癖を完全に消すことができず、八代先輩に感化されてしまった。そして八代さん、
I posited Yatsushiro Senpai confronted Miss Karasumori and got her to admit her guilt.
彼女は学院を去った。
I nod. However, Sister Basquiat interjects.
市場に駆られた烏森教諭が学院を去ったのはわかるわ。でも秋津さんまで辞めることはなかった。
My ears start to ring. She's still trying to keep her secrets.
お前と同じよ。
Oof. My stepmother's voice is a loaded murmur in my ear. I clench my fists, willing her away. The gesture gives me the courage to say what needs to be said. I look Sister Basquiat directly in the eyes, steeling myself to voice a taboo that she will see as unforgivable, both as a Christian and as an individual.
教本格の烏森
Yep, there you go.
である秋津氏
That's what I've been thinking for a while. I say it. It's something of a stretch, but I've come to what I believe is a conclusive explanation for why Shiori Akitsu left the academy. I'm picking at old wounds, but if I'm to get my hands on the key that leads to Mayuri, I need adequate information, hard facts, not hypotheses. Sister Basquiat remains tight-lipped as though silence is golden, yet it says as much as silver. She seems resolved not to break it. However, I ask her to take another good look at the photos. And there's one more sign.
私が烏森教諭と秋津さんがつながりが深いのではないかと推察したのはエプロンの結び目
It was the hairband.
一つ
Indicating the photo in Sister Basquiat's hand, I point out another commonality, which I surmise that the two were closer than originally thought.
秋津しおりさんが
Yep, the scrunchie.
そして烏森教諭が手首につけているものヘアアクセサリーを相手に送るわけにはいかないだからこそ身につけられる常識の範囲で送ったものなのでしょうこれは烏森教諭から送られたものなのですか
Or was it the other way around, I ask. It's not definitive proof, it's just one of the hints that led me to the idea that they were related. However,
バスキア教諭
by producing my evidence one piece at a time, I can make her think I've got more up my sleeve and thereby drawing out the truth from her. It's a tactic I've learned from novels. I say her name again, but she maintains her silence. I bite my lip.
嘘をつか
Are
れ
you
る
gonna lie? Are you gonna stand there in your habit and just tell me a big old fibberino? I just stopped myself from adding it again to the end of my question. Her face twists in an expression of anguish. It's the kind of look people get when you've hit them where it hurts. Perhaps this will lead her to reveal her secret.
ここで引き
I need some information that's not just speculation, and I can't get it from anyone other than Sister Basquiat, who took over Miss Karasumori's specimen preparation classes.
白羽さん、私は聖職者です。
Well, I get that.
バスキア教諭。烏森教諭は学院を去る際、引き継ぎをする私へ懺悔をなされました。正式な国会です。その内容を他に漏らすことはできません。
Okay, so you're just saying we're dead on without saying we're dead on.
ですが、世間話をしましょうか、白羽さん。
Let me tell you this random story about a student and a teacher.
生徒と教師のお話を。
Hearing this, I hold my tongue.
教師は生徒のことを愛していました。愛しているからこそ幸せになってほしいと願い。
Because she went too far. Like, she went too far.
秋津さん、いえ、生徒に対して教師は気持ちを伝えなかったのですか？
This is just a story. A dime a dozen story about a nameless student and teacher.
生徒が幸せになるのなら自分が相手でなくても構わない。教師はそういう人だったの。生徒を真実の意味で愛していたのです。だけどいいえ、だからこそ辛い顔だけは見たくない。
And so she headed down the wrong path, she goes on.
真相を見抜かれ、教師は学院を去りました。道を誤った自分は教師でいる資格がないと。
その生徒は真実を知ったから学院を去ったのですか？
その生徒は聡明な方でした。何も告げずに辞めた教師を見て理解したのでしょう。
I imagine Akitsu-san passing through the gates of the academy in the clear chill of early winter and suddenly feel unbearably sad. How must she have felt leaving everything behind? And how must Yatsushiro-san have felt left alone in her now incongruously spacious dorm room?
世間話はここまでです。白羽さん、
松代先輩が残した課題のようなものです。
I cut her off with my answer.
課題？
ガイアの会の会長が書き残していた年間で1年以上前に起こった事件の記述が、もちろんそれとは分からないものが記されていたのです。私はこれを八代先輩が残した私自身が解決しなければならない課題だと。
Of course, this isn't true. But I can't tell Sister Basquiat that I was driven to solve the case because it will provide a lead to Shion Basquiat.
このことは私へと向けられた課題。誰にも言うつもりはありません。ただ、知りたかったのです。
This isn't a lie. Perhaps because they have the ring. Perhaps because they have a ring of truth. My words chime in the air with a strange clarity before fading into silence like a receding wave. It doesn't feel real. In the dimness of the textiles room, I see two figures: the nun revealing the truth as though giving a confession, and my stepmother hovering like a ghost in the corner. But now I must face reality. The cold creeping up from the soles of my feet is undeniably real, as is the specter of my stepmother slowly closing in on me.
少しだから
I've solved the mystery of the Bloody Mary incident that Yatsushiro-senpai once untangled herself. In doing so, I've taken another step toward my amitié. Filled with a sense of satisfaction that conflicts with a deep underlying feeling of desolation, I slowly close my eyes, then send up a prayer for Mayuri, and for those girls who scattered to the wind like snowflakes. Lying in bed, I think back on my exchange with Sister Basquiat in the textiles room. I've solved the mystery that will lead me to the key to Suoh Basquiat. I'd already drawn my own conclusions, but on hearing Sister Basquiat's testimony, I was able to confirm that I was right. This will lead me to Mayuri. I can't set down a path based on nothing but supposition.
八代先輩が血まみれメアリー事件にと喧嘩した犯人はいとこを思うあまりに道を誤った標本学の烏森みどり教諭。
Yes. This is a farewell gift given out of courtesy for you. I'm going to tell you a bit of intel I got from an incident I investigated a year ago. That's what Yatsushiro Senpai said when she directed me toward the ruins of the old chapel where Suoh Basquiat lay.
先輩が1年生の時に調べていた事件。
Well, it's not really come to light. We're still keeping that in the dark.
シオンバスキアへと至る鍵は烏森みどり教諭が握っていた。
No.
学院から去った八代先輩の網手へ秋津しおりさんが何かを
Left something behind when she dropped out of the academy, and that led to the old chapel. You can't do anything with no pieces, but it's also a problem when you have too many. My potential theories are chaotically multitudinous. That's a new word that I've learned today. And frustration swirls within me. Turning away from the ceiling and onto my side, I squint into the dim room.
まだそんな無駄なことをしているのね。
From the corner beside my desk, my stepmother speaks to me in a quiet yet clear voice.
お前を捨てたのよ。
I'm losing heart. Despite finally solving the mystery of Yatsushiro Senpai left for me and digging up conclusive proof, my nerves are faltering.
だからこんな幻影を見てしまう。
With slow, trudging footsteps, she approaches me. Nausea rears up in me like an ominous grumble of distant thunder. I clench my fists in an attempt to make myself feel brave, but my stepmother is still there, moving inexorably toward me. Even worse than looking into my stepmother's face is the thought of her wicked form looming over Rika-san as she lays sleeping in the bunk below. I clutch at my chest, my fingernails digging into my skin as I will her not to. The dark figure stops in her tracks and turns her hateful gaze on me.
近くに置け。敵はもっと近くに置け。
It sounds like a riddle. No, it's a quote from a conversation between Michael Corleone and Frank Pentangeli. God damn it, dude. Frank Pentangeli in The Godfather Part 2. As I mull over the phrase in bewilderment, she abruptly disappears, leaving nothing but her faint cackling in my ears.
なんだっていうの？
My stepmother is a specter thrown up by my mind, which makes anything she says a product of my own brain. So what did those words mean?
敵の次の動きを予測するために自分の手元に置くべきという言葉。動機、狙いを理解すること。
So, does Sister Basquiat count as an enemy in this case then? Are we gonna have to like stay to her like glue, like keep pounding on this? Enemies close by. Was the key left to me by Yatsushiro Senpai one that leads not to the deceased Suoh Basquiat, but to the Tulpa of Agape? Enemies? That's a strong word. Who would that label apply to?
言葉に惑わされてはダメ。
While she may have given me the clue to unraveling the Bloody Mary case, that doesn't mean she'll always lead me true. Fighting back the nausea that threatens to well up in me again, I close my eyes and try to sleep. All right. I'm stopping there for now. I know this feels like it's probably the end of a chapter, but I am 100% parched. I have nothing left to drink, and I've been reading for like an hour and a half. So We're probably actually going to end up starting into the next chapter the next time we're together, but I'm going to have to stop for now because I'm a little read out. So that's just going to have to do it for now. But it was nice to finally kind of put the bow on that riddle that was left for us at the end of the previous game. That's nice to put that together. I'm not sure 100% how that ties everything together or how that's going to lead us to Mayuri quite yet. I think we're still like in the midst of trying to obtain more pieces to kind of make this all make sense, because everything is just so disparate and weird right now that there's not a lot that's adding up. But there's so much more game left for that all to come together, so we'll be finding out more about that soon. But anyway, thank you, of course, for stopping by as always. I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever you're at, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!